Welcome to Horror News Radio for May 29th, 2023. Join us tonight for this summer horror movie preview for 2023. Yes, we're going to look at the films coming out this summer. Let's get to it. I'm your host, Doc Rotten, and this is HNR, the official Gruesome Magazine Horror News Podcast. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest ghosts on the net. And that means lead news writer at Gruesome Magazine, the one and only Dave Dreher. How you doing, Dave?
Hello, gentlemen. How is everybody?
Doing good.
Good.
Looks like you're bunkered down. Looks like you're in the bunker.
I'm in the bunker. Yes, I'm in the bunker. It's true.
Ready for Oppenheimer?
I'm hiding from all the grandkids that are cruising around outside. Don't tell them where I'm at.
That's a different type of nuclear bomb. All right. Also joining us is Brian W. Smith, award-winning screenwriter. How you doing, sir?
Gentlemen, how are you? Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Great shirt. I love that.
Yeah, I was going to say, dig in the shirt, Brian. Dig in the shirt.
Yes. All right. So we are here tonight to talk about the horror movies. I got about a dozen of them that are coming out this summer of 2022, starting in June, going all the way through September. But before we get into that list, we want to invite you to share in celebrating 10 years of HNR. That's right. We started in 2013 with a review of Evil Dead, Dave, Thomas, the Black Saint, and I. And we started our celebration this year with the review of Evil Dead Rise. That worked out really well. And then we're going to...
Just like we planned.
Absolutely. And then we're going to celebrate all year long, ending with our inaugural Gru Cruise in February of 2024. It'll be 3 days of horror and fun in the sun. We'll shove horror and sun together and find some fun. It'll be a blast. All right. And of course, we hope you enjoy our news tonight, which is going to be just a preview. If you do, please hit the like, subscribe, and share with a friend. All right. You guys ready to get into this? We're just going to dive right smack dab into these. You good? You good?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Up first, June 2nd. That means it's coming out right away this weekend, is The Boogeyman. Available from 20th Century Studios, available in theaters beginning June 2nd, 2023. Synopsis is: high school student Sadie Harper and her little sister Sawyer are still reeling from the recent death of their mother. Devastated by his own pain, their father Will, a therapist by profession, gives them neither support nor affection that they tried to claim from him. Bad guy. When a desperate patient shows up unexpectedly at their house asking for help, they bring a terrifying entity that preys on the family and feeds on their greatest suffering. Directed by Rob Savage, written by Scott Beck, Brian Woods, Mark Heyman. The cast includes Sophie, Thatcher, Chris Messina, Dave Dastmalchian. I know I mispronounced that, and LisaGay Hamilton. Tagline: don't look under the bed. Well, that's fun. Before we get into the rounds here, interesting is Rob Savage is a up-and-coming director, one that we really like. His film Host debuted on Shudder right as along with the pandemic. Right, it was actually filmed during the pandemic, and he proved to be quite a talent with that film. I think we all thought. Dashcam deserves a second look if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it and they weren't really, go take a look. It's not, but I'm excited about this one. I'm excited about The Boogeyman. The Boogeyman, Dave, is based on a Stephen King short.
Correct. Yeah, this is actually the second time it's been filmed, but this one seems it's going to be a little closer to the actual book. Although, again, the story is a very short story, so there's going to be some lengthening of things here. My only concern with this one is it's going to fall prey to its own hype, because initially I think it was supposed to just go to HBO Max or something, correct?
It was.
It was supposed to go to one of the streamers, and then it screened really well, and now it's got all the buzz, and of course they got the the trailers out of the people reacting all spooky and scared,
which is a good promotional trick. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is, but I just hope they don't over promote it. I have high hopes for this one. I like Rob Savage. I like the Boogeyman story, so I'm hoping this is as good as they're telling us it is.
Well, the cast is strong too. I mean, Sophie Thatcher, excuse me, is a fan favorite right now because of I'm just trying to get the right name. Yellow Jackets.
Yep.
Part of that cast. That show is going on. Of course, she was one of the cast of the Book of Boba Fett too for Star Wars fans out there. She was one of the bicycle riding crew. Well, motorcycle. That'd be weird. So
I'll be going in fresh.
Going in fresh. Chris Messina, of course, is an actor that we know. David Dastmalchian is a fun character actor. Deserves as much praise as possible. Yes.
You say so. I believe you.
If I say so. All right. Wow.
This one hits on Thursday, right?
Yep. And the young daughter played Leia Organa in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. She played a little young
like
Leia.
Star Wars stuff all over the place.
There is. I mean, it's hard not to at this point. But I'm looking forward to this. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with the title, The Boogeyman. I mean, if it's pretty straightforward, and with Stephen King behind it, it should be interesting. I did like Host, as you mentioned, Rob Savage's film. Not so much Dashcam, but that's okay. I think early buzz so far is that it's pretty fun and scary. It's hard for me now, as I feel like a seasoned horror fan, to really get too excited for horror marketing sometimes, because it can, it's a whole new audience. They're getting scared in ways that we've already seen, so it's all new to them. So I'll see it, and if it's effective, yeah, great. We can use another scary movie. It could either be The Boogeyman or The Bye-Bye Man. Who knows? But we'll see.
No, you had to say it. You had to say it.
Dave, any last words before we move on?
No, looking forward to it. I'm glad it's only a couple days away. Let's bring it on.
Yeah, a couple days away. All right, up next, the following week, to be exact, The Blackening from Lionsgate, available in theaters June 16th. The synopsis is 7 black friends who go away for the weekend only to find themselves trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. Will their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies keep them help them stay alive, almost keep them safe, whatever? Probably not. Regardless, directed by Tim Story, written by Tracy Oliver and Dewayne Perkins. The cast includes Antionette, Robertson, Dewayne Perkins, Sinqua Walls. Did I pronounce that anywhere near right? And Grace Byers. Excuse me. We can't all die first. Well, if you can't see that, that's it. Now, Tim Story is an interesting director. He directed the first 2 Fantastic Four movies way back when Captain America was the Human Torch. Chris Evans was the Human Torch. That batch, not the one that really sucks in the middle of all that. And then, of course, he did the Shaft remake as well. So, Brian, what do you think of this movie? Did I say Sinqua Walls right? I feel like I did.
I believe so.
Okay.
Truth be told, I did see an early screening of this, and this will be definitely one of my reviews coming up. I had fun. I won't spoil anything. I really enjoyed this one. I hope it does really well. It's coming out on Juneteenth.
That's right. It is. Isn't it?
It's a fun. It's set on Juneteenth and coming out on Juneteenth, so it's really, really cool. The cast is a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to give too much of like the range of it, but I think it's a good audience movie, good crowd film. It was good. So I'll see it again with another audience.
It's hard to anticipate a film when you've already seen it in it. All right.
Well, now I want to see it with another crowd.
There you go. I like that. I'm looking forward to it because it really kind of twists on some stereotypes and kind of what's the other word I'm trying to think of? It's basically
the tropes.
Tropes is a good word for it, of horror films, right? And
I would say go in try to. I mean, they have the marketing going on in the Instagram and stuff like that. But I would say try to avoid as much of that as possible to maintain the jokes and the humor and stuff. But it's pretty good. It balances horror and comedy very well, as opposed to when it's just comedy. Or I like that. But again, no spoils.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing it. I didn't take it as a parody. I thought it was. I mean, I figured it would be funny, but not a parody. Is it a satire or a parody?
It's satirical, but it's again, I'll save it for my review. But it was just that I was just seeing a horror movie in the theater, and I was on kind of on the edge until like until the ending. So it just maintains itself, and the cast is really lively. I hope to see more of them and other things, or
Yeah, the one guy kills me when he starts talking about, he voted for Trump twice. That was crazy. I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks fantastic. And this one also has the marketing where they show the people screaming in the theater. Or, well, actually, they do a lot more than that. But yeah, very lively crowds. Dave, what do you?
It's silly, but not as silly as like a scary movie type. It's a little more clever, I think.
Is it more like a Scream, perhaps?
I would put it closer to like a game night.
Ooh, well, game night's good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah. I'm looking. I mean, all the advanced buzz on this is fantastic, and unlike the Boogeyman, I think the advertising campaign for this one is working. It actually makes you want to see the film. To see what is actually going on. My biggest question was the same one you asked. Is it more parody or is it actually something new and fresh? But from what Brian is not telling us, it may be something a little more new and fresh, which would be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, let's move on to our next one, which is Insidious: The Red Door. This is coming from Sony. It's available in theaters beginning July 7th, 2023. The synopsis is set 10 years after the ending events of the second film. Josh Lambert heads east to drop his son Dalton off at an idyllic Ivy League university. However, Dalton's college dreams become a nightmare when the repressed demons of his past suddenly return to haunt them both. To end the hauntings and to put the demons at rest once and for all, Josh and Dalton must return once again to the further in order to stop the Lambert nightmare for good. That sounds like a little bit redundant there, but we'll go with it. Directed by Patrick Wilson in his directorial debut. Written by Scott Teems, story by Lee Whannell. The cast includes Rose Byrne, Patrick Wilson, Ty Simpkins, Andrew Astor, and Lynn Shay. Face your demons. I'm an easy target for this. I'm just all in. Dave?
I'm ready for this storyline to die. Hopefully they tie it up nicely. Does the last key fit in the red door? Didn't they have Insidious: The Last Key?
That was a prequel. That was a prequel. That was
okay. So I'm hoping the last key fits in the red door, and then we can lock it and we can go away from these. But it does look good. It really does, and I like the fact that they're kind of going all the way back to the second movie, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see if they actually wrap this up.
Yeah, it makes 1, 2, and 5 a trilogy. Brian, what are your thoughts on this?
I will reserve judgment until I see it. Scott Teems wrote Halloween Kills and Firestarter, and he's writing the upcoming Exorcist. So I will reserve judgment until I see the actual film.
No snickering.
I think you
look like you want to snicker. No snickering.
You slid some judgment in that saying. All right. Well, maybe he's turned a corner in this movie, and the Exorcists are going to be awesome.
Well, let's see. If James Wan has some. Is he a part of this? I know he's a producer.
He's producing,
perhaps.
Yeah,
producing.
So I'm sure some of that probably rubbed off on Patrick.
Yes, I'm sure he had, hands-on help. I would imagine. I'm not sure what Patrick Wilson has done directorially, if anything. Many actors.
I feel like this is his first, or
yeah, I thought I read somewhere it was his directorial debut.
Yeah, because many actors, strive to be a director. after a while, and
I think this is his first.
Yeah.
How involved was Lee Woodall in the story of this? Does anybody know?
I do not know for certain, other than the fact that his storyline, which means he's going to get credit anyway because he, came up with the first one.
Wrote the original characters.
So I would imagine it's just the story credits coming from the threads that were left behind on.
Gotcha.
That would be my my wager.
When's this one hit?
This is July 7th.
Okay, well, not that far away.
Okay, wow. Okay, the excitement is palpable. At least on my end. All right, the next one I'm actually really excited about, and I wish I knew more about it. But let's keep going. This is July 21st. It's Cobweb, not to be confused with another film called Cobweb that is from I think. Is it Park Chow doing that one? I forget who's doing it, but there is another movie called Cobweb. But this is the Lionsgate one, available in theaters beginning July 21st, 2023. Synopsis: a boy who hears voices in his head decides to unleash them on his abusive parents. Directed by Samuel Bowden, written by Chris Thomas Devlin. The cast includes Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Starr, Cleopatra Coleman, Ellen Dubin, and Woody Norman. And I just want to start off by saying that Samuel Bowden directed the Marianne TV series. I don't know if anybody here watched it, but it is one of the it is one of the scariest TV shows I've ever seen. It was so good.
Pretty good, yeah.
So I am looking forward to what he has to do here. Of course, Lizzie Kaplan is a wonderful actress. So I'm excited about that. And what do you guys think? Is there any? I mean, we don't know much other than the cast and a brief synopsis. But Brian, what do you think? Is there a promise here?
Well, it's an interesting premise. I don't know much about it, but it is an interesting premise. Lizzie Kaplan's, she's on this sort of, unhinged psychological thriller kick lately, and that image you just posted with her looks like she's handing someone little cupcakes in a cellar. So there's something already. It's a loaded image. She's got crazy eyes in that, so it should be interesting. It should be interesting to see. I'll check it out.
Dave, what are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I mean, even the poster is very the advanced poster is nothing. It's just the word cobweb written in red on a white background. So I think that was manufactured by somebody. Yeah, they're giving us nothing on this. So it doesn't appear to be based on anything that I can some quick research come up. So I like the premise, the fact that a boy hears voices in his walls and is able to harness them or unleash them in some way. I like that premise. So yeah.
I'd say of the films we're going to discuss tonight, this one has the highest risk of being rescheduled to another date because we haven't seen anything. The second one I'll mention when we get to it, but I want to see this and I'm really eager to find out what it's about. But it could vanish from our schedule. Notice. All right.
From the writer of my favorite, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022,
which I like too. That's awesome actually.
Yeah, it should be that raises it up there,
It does. All right, up next. This is an easy one for me. The Haunted Mansion from Walt Disney Studios, available in theaters July 28, 2023. Synopsis is: a single mom named Gabby hires a tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a historian to help exorcise her newly bought mansion after discovering it's inhabited by ghosts. Directed by Justin Simeon, written by Chris Thomas Devlin. Is that right? Is that the right name? I guess it is. I feel like we just said that name, or maybe I misdid that. We'll have to double check that. The cast includes Rosario Dawson, Chase Dillon, Lakeith Stanfield, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Tiffany Haddish, Winona Ryder, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jared Leto, Dan Levy, and Hassan Minhaj. I am so sorry for mispronouncing those names. But it's been 20 years since we got the first attempt at Haunted Mansion. Anybody remember that one?
That was the Eddie Murphy one, right?
Yep, I fell asleep in the theater on that one. That was the.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So I
and
did.
Just a quick correction. I was Kitty Dippold.
Katie Dippold. I was getting ready to say I
Katie
did not
Dippold.
update the writer properly. So Katie Dippold,
who I think I think brought us Ghostbusters. So yeah.
Ooh, did she?
She brought us 2016.
Oh, the girl one, huh? The one that. Oh, but she did do. She also wrote The Heat, right? So we'll keep. Yeah. All right, now
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I am an incredibly easy target for this because I love the Haunted Mansion. I can't stomach the 2003 film terribly much. I tried to rewatch it recently, and it was way too awful to get through.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I fell asleep on it in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, it had a moment or two, but for the most part, it just like, what are they doing? This one has me feeling much better for it. Brian, do you think this one?
I mean, I'm not familiar with the ride, of course.
Oh no.
To the ride, familiar with it. I'm as a movie, I don't know if it will work, but we'll see, because I know it has to like check off a lot of boxes and bring in a lot of things that might be familiar to people of the lore, but it kind of has that sort of whimsical look to it that doesn't really do anything for me. I'm sure it's a family kids movie, that's fine, but for me it's like it looks like The Haunting, actually, the remake. So it doesn't.
There is a little bit of that.
Anything.
Having Owen Wilson in it, I think, is the tie there that gives you there.
It has that sort of whimsical aspect, but it's like whimsy without the edge kind of thing. Like, I don't think we're ever. I mean, I know they're doing Beetlejuice too, but I don't know if we're ever gonna get that kind of darkness in a studio film, really.
Well, the director did Bad Hair recently.
He did Bad Hair. Awesome. He's part of he created Dear White People, and so he's an interesting choice for. Well, yeah, Bad Hair was his horror. I think he's delving into horror, but it should be interesting. I mean, it's got a good cast. It has that, but visually it kind of harkens back. I know it's kind of, they have to sort of play within the same sandbox as the original, as the ride, but it kind of harkens back to the 2003 one, so it kind of looks the same in terms of like the ghosts and the scares. And
it's kind of hard to get away from that when they use the same source material.
The ghosts look the same. Nothing looks scary. It's just kind of like whimsical, and I'm like, all right.
Which is
I'm waiting for Disney to give us let's get a Mr. Boogedy feature,
Dave, what about you? Is this you're taking your grandkids to this one? I'm sure, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't have the deep seated love for the ride like you do, Doc, or a lot of other people do. I was on it once when I was like 10, so I don't really have much remembrance of it. My main remembrance is from the Eddie Murphy movie, which we all pretty much agree is not a good memory. So we'll see. But I think the trailer looks good. It looks fun. We get Jimmy Lee Curtis in a crystal ball. I mean, come on,
that works.
So we're all good there.
I've ridden the Haunted Mansion in Orlando. I haven't ridden the one in Disneyland, but Disney World so many times. I will literally, when I go and the parade starts, I go ride Haunted Mansion for like 3 or 4 times because nobody's there. They're all watching the parade. I just get out and I run up to the front and I get on again. I could literally have can I rent a dune buggy? I just want to rent a dune buggy for a day. It'll be mine. I'll sit in it and I'll just go around and around. I wonder how much that costs. So I'm like super eager. I've already gotten tickets. They're not for sale yet, but I got them.
You locked them in.
I don't know if Wikipedia is to be believed. The budget seems quite high according to Wikipedia. If that's to be believed, it's
what does it say?
It's 100. It says 157.8 million. It's going to need to make some international dollars first, I think. Now,
they're okay. Disney's got a lot of fans now. Disney, well, except for the guy.
They'll do it.
Florida.
They'll figure it out. But I don't envy their marketing department right now. They're just probably scrambling.
Yep. Oh man. I wanted to say something. I'm going to stop here just for a second. Go back to Insidious: The Red Door. There's a rumor out there they've already announced the 6th film.
I thought I saw that because I got confused. I was like, wait, didn't Patrick Wilson just direct one? And did it already come out? Did I miss something?
Nope.
I get so confused.
Yeah. So they're already planning on 6th one. Now it's called I forget what it is. It has a like Treads. I think it's called Treads, and it's an Insidious story. So they're going off on a side storyline. They're not going to follow the main family anymore, which is fine. It's fine. Yeah. I'm good for it. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Up next, Talk to Me from A24. Available in theaters beginning July 28, 2023. Synopsis is: when a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, they become hooked on a new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. Directed by Danny Philippou and Michael Philippou. That's not how you pronounce the name, but I'm going with it. Written by Danny and Bill Hintzman and Daley Pearson. The cast includes Sophia Wilde, Joe Bird, Alexandra Jensen, and Miranda Otto. This movie is another one that got bumped up to being a release into a theater. Of course, Evil Dead Rise did as well, and Evil Dead Rise was amazing. So maybe they're on to something. Horror films have been doing well. So let's find out. Dave, does this look spooky to you? Does this look scary?
I kind of instantly tune out when I see A24.
That's true. That's
just
true.
Not. They do not make films that fall within my wheelhouse. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here. We'll see what happens. But a possessed embalmed hand, what's it doing in your house? It's like it's
doing mad things. Mad things.
I tell you, it just looks like a more of a artistic over substance type thing to me. But I hope I'm wrong, and I know you'll make me watch this. So
I'll go
definitely. And be a good boy.
Yeah. Do you think it's Philippi? I don't know. Brian, what do you think? I'm stuck. I'm like, what do you think?
Can't get past it.
Well, I've heard good buzz, on the festival circuit. I think it played where did it play? Cannes or South by Southwest or Sundance, I think. And so it could be this year's It Follows, I think is what they're kind of touting it as. I like the premise is interesting. It's different. The characters are kind of asking for it. So it'll be interesting to see, if they get dispatched in creative ways or however it works. It's supposed to be really, really good and effective. But, again, with every film that comes out with new buzz, I'm like, am I just going to see the same scares I've seen already, just sort of rehashed in a way that, I've seen it already, that type of thing, or is it going to really knock my socks off? We'll see. Everything old is new again. So a lot of movies are just sort of taking from what's come before, what's worked, and, sort of putting them in a blender and coming out as it's the scariest new movie. So, it could be entertaining, could be fun. I'm open to it. But we'll see,
I usually wear very loose socks, so they get knocked off quite a bit.
But it has that monkey's paw type of. It
does almost.
It's
literally.
like the monkey's paw, but it's a pretty cool premise. It's like monkey's paw with a Ouija board, and they just took those premises and put them together. And I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to stay away from it. I know that there's like a new Fangoria picture I saw that has like at least one spoiler photo. I'm like, God damn it! But yeah, I'm gonna try to go in as fresh as possible and not see anything.
The whole hand idea, that it's a mummified or embalmed hand, and you gotta basically, grasp the hand, shake the hand,
make contact.
That's creepy in and of itself.
Right. I mean, there has to be someone that says, "No, let's not do this." But if they're all doing it, it's like, all right, this is what could be a Final Destination or whatever.
Well, there's a bunch of kids, they got to double dare each other. But this one, the lead has motivation to do it. It seems.
Yeah.
And that's always a bad thing.
These directors are the Raka Raka guys. You guys ever watch any of the Raka Raka stuff on YouTube?
No. Dude.
Yeah, it's the Raka Raka guys.
I've
They're
never
from
heard of them
Australia.
until this movie was.
Okay.
I'd never heard of them until this movie got buzz. I was like, interesting.
I looked them up and still hadn't heard them.
Like I'm on YouTube and I've never heard of them, so they're on a whole other demographic.
It'll be interesting to see how it turns out because I don't know. The trailer sold me. Another trailer sold me, and that's our next film. Meg 2, The Trench, coming from Warner Brothers, available in theaters August 4th. We're in August. Synopsis: Jonas Taylor leads a research team on an exploratory dive into the deepest depths of the ocean. He returns, that is, pitted against the colossal prehistoric sharks and relentless environmental plunderers. They must outrun, outsmart, and outswim their merciless predators. It sounds like they took the same synopsis and just made it plural, but we'll go with it. Directed by Ben Wheatley, written by John Ober, Eric Hober, and Dean Gagaris, based on The Trench by Steve Alton. Cast includes Jason Statham, Wu Jing, Sophia Kai, Paige Kennedy, Sergio Perez Manchetta, Skylar Samuels, and Cliff Curtis. I know there's a large shark movie fan in this crowd. Brian, what do you think of Meg 2? Are you looking forward to it?
I'll see it. It's not as scary as it can. Like the first one wasn't scary; it was just kind of ridiculous. It didn't quite go into the horror realm; it went more into the action, type of realm.
Action comedy,
right? Yeah. So this one, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's a frightening. I've seen sort of videos online, like people doing like graphic arts and stuff with CGI versions of Megs that are coming up that are scary than anything that I've seen in these movies. But I hope it's fun. I hope it's entertaining. I feel like we're sharked out because there's so many shark movies now every other week. I mean, they're no longer relegated to the water, so
that's true.
It's kind of hard to, the waters are literally flooded now with the movie waters are flooded with shark movies of different species, and so this one, just throw it on a pile. Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully it's good. Dave, are you hoping for the same thing?
Yeah, I am. I think this looks like a ton of fun. I was a big fan of the book. Both the Meg books from Stephen Alton were great. I don't know if they'll stick with the book. It kind of really doesn't look like it, like they're sticking with the book, but maybe they will. It could happen. Yeah, I think this looks like fun though, and it's like pretty much everyone who survived the first movie are back for the second movie, from what I can tell. So.
Yeah, anybody that did survive is back. Yeah, It definitely. They're treating it more like a kaiju shark film.
Yeah, for sure.
With a little bit, a lot of humor slid into it, but at the same time, it's. I mean, that's a great summer movie idea. It's not going to be on the level of Jaws as far as the scares, but I have a feeling it's going to be. I don't know.
Fun.
It looks like it might be even more entertaining than the first one. It is directed by Ben Wheatley, who did High Rise and Rebecca. He's a little bit more of a serious director.
Yeah, so maybe he'll bring. Yeah.
And this is kind of a really huge leap for him, and congratulations, Ben Wheatley. Right.
Well, you did that. What was the one that you mentioned? The one with the guys that go on a trip. That was his film, right?
Oh, might have been. I don't remember what it is.
No spoilers, but it was kind of like a High Rise. Maybe I'm getting it wrong with someone else.
Well, there's one. He did Rebecca, and then he did in the Earth. He did last year or year before last.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I know which one you're talking about. But
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a different director. He did in Fabric. I'm getting it mixed up with someone else. Never mind.
All right, and in your last, if it isn't a Haunted Mansion movie, it's a shark movie. I'm sold. I'm just gonna go. Come on.
I'm in.
All right, up next might be the most serious of the horror films we get this year, and that is the last voyage. You could say Lost, the last voyage of the Demeter. It's from Universal Pictures, coming out August 11th, 2023. Synopsis: based on a single chapter, the captain's log from Bram Stoker's classic 1897 novel Dracula, the story is set aboard a Russian schooner, Demeter, which was chartered to carry private cargo, 24 unmarked wooden crates from Carpathia to London. The film will detail the strange events that befell the doomed crew as they attempt to survive the ocean voyage, stalked each night by a terrifying presence aboard the ship. When it finally arrived near Whitby Harbor, it was a derelict, and there was no trace of the crew. Directed by Andrew Overdahl, written by Bragi F. Schutt and Zach Okowitz, based on Dracula, Bram Stoker. Cast includes Corey Hawkins, Aisling Franciosi, Liam Cunningham, and David Dashmalchian. Again,
he's back again.
I'm still mispronouncing his name.
Dashmalchian guys everywhere.
This trailer, I've been eager about it. We hadn't heard much, and we finally got a trailer. The trailer instantly won me over. It looks so fun. It looks like Alien on a ship. Dave, do you agree?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, Andre Overdahl, I mean, you know, both Troll Hunter, Autopsy of Jane Doe are amazing movies, right?
Yes. I like this.
There is no reason to believe that this will not be an absolute masterpiece. I'm really looking forward to this one.
I like it's already declared it a masterpiece. I love it.
I'm hoping. This is the one that of all of these, I think has the biggest hope of being something really good.
Right, like a one that we will be talking about years to come, right?
That is my hope, and not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. Now, if Haunted Mansion pulls a Pirates of the Caribbean, I challenge you. But yes, I agree. Brian, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Actually, before I get into this one, I just want to correct. David Bruckner directed The Ritual. That was the movie I was thinking of, not Ben.
Nice.
The Ritual.
Yes.
There we go. Had to check on that. Because our podcasters, their audience was probably going crazy. Last Voyage of the Demeter. It was a really good chapter, and of course, you know, in the Dracula book. And this story itself has been, I think, floating around for a while as a script. So, you know, fans of Dracula, of course, like myself included, have been sort of waiting for this to come up. We've seen a few films in the interim that have sort of played on this notion, but it's a really cool idea to take that one chapter and make a full feature out of it. Looks like they're going full scary with Dracula, and you know, no debonair swab character. He's just a bat creature out for blood. Yeah. And yeah, it should be fun. They had hinted at it in that what was that, the BBC Dracula series, that 3-part one, and yeah, so it's a premise that it's a movie I've been waiting for a while. So.
Oh, we lost him. Just as he was right in the middle of everything. Yes, I'm looking forward to. Dave, what do you think of this chapter of the Dracula, you know, novel being adapted just by itself?
I think it's great. And Brian was right. We have been talking about this one for a while. It seems like it's been out there floating around, either in you know, script form or something. So it's exciting to see it finally coming out. Hey, look, Brian's back. I was afraid Dracula got you, Brian. Thought maybe Dracula got you.
Oh no. All right, let's go on to, we'll go from Dracula to maybe Frankenstein, maybe. Poor Things, coming from Searchlight, available in theaters September 8th, 2023. Synopsis: an incredible tale and fantastic evolution of Bella Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist, Dr. Godwin Baxter. Directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Sure. Written by Tony McNamara, based on the novel by Alasdair Gray. The cast includes Emma Stone, Margaret Qualley, Willem Dafoe, and Mark Ruffalo, among others. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell from the picture and the stories, it has a Frankenstein vibe. She is resurrected and goes on a journey. It's not,
Not a killing spree.
I don't think it's going to be a killing spree or even a horror story, other than the fact that she's, a dead woman experiencing life, right? So there'll be themes. But with this, the director did The Lobster. I don't know if anybody here saw The Lobster.
Oh yeah, once I saw the name in the trailer, I was like, oh yeah, this one's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be weird in a great way. I love Mark Ruffalo, and the trailer has him like just the way he says "ow," and then Willem Dafoe, come on! All right, and Emma Stone, I'm a fan, so I'm sold. Brian.
Yeah, like I said, I've seen Killing of a Sacred Deer, I've seen The Lobster, so this one's when I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this style has a certain, and then I saw the name, I was like, yeah, this is that person. So I know it's going to be strange and artsy and interesting. Whether I go see it in the theater, maybe I'll wait for it to stream. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I know people will probably talk about it if it's done really well and compelling. Interesting cast. So.
I think the cast is quite interesting. Dave, I would imagine you kind of equate this to an A24 film.
Yeah, as I say, my answer to this one. we can just move along.
No, just move along. We're not going to expose. We're not going to have any internal growth from Dave this year. He's going to skip.
No. Maybe one day one will come along, but I don't think it's going to be this one.
All right. Well, maybe you'll go see the next one. I will. And then
yes, you will.
2 Roman numerals. Warner Brothers, available in theaters beginning September 8th, 2023. Synopsis: set 4 years after the ending of the first film, the film follows Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with the demonic force Valak, the nun, which is basically a synopsis in lieu of a synopsis because that tells us nothing. The director is Michael Chavez, who directed the third Conjuring movie, Devil Made Me Do It. It's written by Akilah Cooper and Ian Goldberg and Richard Nang. The cast includes Anna Popplewell, Taisha Farmiga, Storm Reed, and of course Bonnie Aaron. We have nothing from them. The poster is entirely constructed by some random rando on the net, and that's a picture from the first film. But I just love the Conjuring movies and the Conjuring. There's only one that I don't want to watch again, and that's the first Annabelle. But I love the other Annabelles. The first Nun, I rewatched it, and for me it played much better on a rewatch on HBO Max, or now it's just Max. And but it, of course it made a lot of money, but it didn't really make a lot of fans. I think one thing I like about what they do with the Conjuring movies, if you look at Annabelle and even the Conjuring 1 and 2, the second ones, they usually instead of diminishing returns, they improve on the concept. I think Annabelle is a very strong bookmark for that. And I'm hoping that we'll get this with this one. And what did we say? The Miss Cooper also wrote Megan.
Megan and Malignant.
So that's a winner for me. Brian, what is your take on The Nun 2?
I mean, I like Bonnie Aarons a lot. I think she's really funny on social media and stuff like that. Has a great personality as a character actress. But I'm happy to see her. They're using her. She has a very unique look, and they use it very effectively with the nun character, I think. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of women horror performers that are instantly recognizable in this sort of like Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff sort of way. So I think she's bringing that into the new, horror world. So yeah, I would just go just to see her in action. I'm happy that she's, the films are doing well for her and she's in them, and she's got her action figure and all that stuff. Everything else is, to me, is like secondary. It's she's just going to jump out every couple of seconds, but I'm happy for her. I'm happy to see her up there. So I'm more of just a fan of Bonnie Aarons. So I'm happy she has this character to, pay the bills.
Jump scare the movie. Dave, you're not going to go see Poor Things. Oh, poor me. But are you going to go see The Nun 2?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Brian on this. I think she's a great actress. She's been at the last couple conventions that I've been at, and the fans just love her. And she is really, really great with the fans and to the fans. So I would support the film just to support her.
Mm-hmm.
Will the movie be good or not? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. What was it? Wasn't it Jacob's wife, the one where she played the like, demon or the whatever it was,
vampire.
the monster at the end of that? She does, and she does. She has a very unique look and a very unique style. She's like almost like a Kane Hodder, a female Kane Hodder, where she can play these different. She can play these different horror villains, but as a female, which I think needs to be supported and celebrated. So. Mm-hmm. Bring on the Nun 2.
Absolutely. All right. We are winding down. We just have a few more left on our list. And we're in September. We are also getting very close to the end of the summer months, even though we're using one extra month. Just let me have it. All right. Haunting in Venice. 20th Century Studios, available in theaters beginning September 15th, 2023. The synopsis says, in post-World War II Venice, Perrault, now retired and living in his own exile, reluctantly attends a seance. But when one of the guests is murdered, it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. Directed by Kenneth Branagh, written by Michael Green, based on the novel Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. The cast includes Kenneth Branagh, Kelly O'Reilly, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, and Camille Cotton. This is a stretch, but it isn't, because it definitely has horror elements in it, and it is the closest thing, I think, that Agatha Christie ever wrote to a horror novel, I believe. It is considered horror. I suspect Perrault will come up with an explanation that is nothing to do with horror, but I'm going to have fun getting there. The cast is fantastic. Kenneth Branagh, of course, other than the other two Perrault films, he did Thor, which is a great one, and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and of course every other Shakespearean film out there. He's a talented director and a talented actor. And the cast includes Michelle Yeoh, Academy Award-winning actress now, and the trailer supports her quite a bit. And then Kelly Riley is, people are watching Yellowstone are going to be huge fans of her. Dave.
Yes, Doc.
Are you interested in a haunting?
I am. I am a huge Agatha Christie fan. Back when I was but a wee lad before Stephen King was releasing books, I read Agatha Christie and Ellery Queen novels.
Ellery Queen, yes.
I loved them, so I'm always up for a good Agatha Christie story. And this is a particularly good one. If they remain faithful to the story, it actually is probably the most horrific one out there. So we'll see. And we'll see what they do with it. So
you've read the source material?
A long time ago. Yes, when I was about 12. But
when you were 12, did it scare you?
I did. I mean, that was about the same time I was reading Hounds of the Baskervilles and
that's
things like that. So it's very gothic, very provincial. By today's standards, it's probably not scary, but back then that was scary.
Well, that's true. Hounds of the Baskervilles is considered a horror film, and Brian, what do you think? Where is this on your radar?
Well, it's new to me. I actually, in hearing the description, I was thinking Halloween Party would have been a much catchier title, but I see there was a 2019 film of that same title, which I'm going to check out now. And The Haunting in Venice I realize it has nothing to do with The Haunting in Connecticut or anything in that realm. I was way off. I think the cast looks interesting. Tina Fey actually stood out to me because I was like, oh, that's interesting. I would see it for her to see what she's doing. So I'm looking forward to a trailer to see what the tone is and where it's going with that. I honestly haven't seen the other Kenneth Branagh films, the Hercule Poirot films. I've seen the trailers, and I might have sat through one of them, but I don't know.
You don't know?
He's good. He's good as Perot. He really is.
Oh, he's fantastic as Perot. Yeah. It's let's see. I'm just trying to get the title: Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express.
And maybe I rented that one. I'm not sure. The train one. I think I did, but I don't remember.
I enjoyed.
That one's been made so many times. Murder on the Orient Express is bad. What Peter Sellers was in it once, and it's been around for decades.
Yeah. I enjoyed both. Now, of course, the Death on the Nile had a little bit of controversy based on one of its cast, so you can see the creative edits as the movie goes on to minimize how much that one particular actor is in there. But this one looks to be controversy free at the moment. I didn't think it was going to be, anything near frightening or scary until I saw the trailer, and the trailer won me over. Just the creepy vibes of it is enough to kind of go in and enjoy a nice spooky little tale, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Get some normies in there, right? All right, our last film is more on the sci-fi side, but definitely has horror tropes in it. It is The Creator from 20th Century Studios, available in theaters beginning September 29th, 2023. Synopsis is: amid a future war between the human race and the forces of artificial intelligence, Joshua, a hardened ex-special forces agent grieving the disappearance of his wife, is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of the advanced AI who has developed a mysterious weapon with the power to end the war and humankind itself. Directed by Gareth Edwards, written by Gareth Edwards and Chris Weitz. The cast includes Allison Janney, Gemma Chan, Ralph Ineson, John David Washington, and Ken
Watanabe.
Thank you. I can say that. I just can't get my tongue tiedness out of the way. The Creator, definitely more on the sci-fi, but I think what the fears we have for AI at the moment are real, and I think those fears will translate into this movie. And will make it chilling and scary in that respect. Maybe not, and it does have robot-y monsters in it. Maybe not creatures, but people. I'm sold, and I like Gareth Edwards. He did Monsters, which was a real fun low-budget movie. Godzilla, which I like, and Rogue One: The Star Wars Story remains one of my favorite of the modern Star Wars films. So. Go figure. What do we think? Brian W. Smith, are you down for this one?
It's not necessarily my genre, but it has a really good cast to it. The premise, with his wife disappears to find his wife who disappeared. I don't know if you could hear me like roll my eyes. It's just.
Is that what I want?
It's just a very all right. It's a very standard kind of premise that we see a lot, and it's just okay. It's a different setting, but it didn't excite me. But I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe the next trailer. Maybe everyone's like.
Maybe there's some twist to it, But if it's just like, oh, he's, she got kidnapped or whatever, it's like, all right, we've seen this already. But whatever.
Wow, what a solo film, Brian. Hey, what do you think? Where is this?
I thought the trailer looked beautiful. It really looks great. I watched it. I have no idea what I watched. I don't know what was going on. It had some kind of Blade Runner vibes to it to me at times.
Yeah.
And I love Allison Janney. I would watch a soap commercial if Allison Janney was in it. So I'll go just to see her. There's no denying the man's talent as a director. The story looks like it might be a little convoluted, but hopefully not. Maybe it's just not a particularly good trailer.
Oh my God, you guys. All right. Well, there's the films that we have. 12 films coming out to the theaters. There's a lot coming out on VOD and streaming, and we'll be covering those on Gruesome Magazine regularly. But these are the 12 coming to the theaters. I suspect 2 of them have a small risk of being bumped. Since we haven't seen anything from The Nun, that's the second one I think has a risk. But knowing how things go, we'll probably have the trailer before I get this published. But anyway, so here's the last thing I want to do before we wrap this up. Out of these 12 movies, I want to know which one you are most looking forward to. Dave Dreher.
Easy. Last Voyage of the Demeter, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down. And then the Meg 2 after that. That would be the two.
All right. Brian W. Smith.
Yeah, I agree. Last Voyage. Well, actually, sorry. Yeah, Last Voyage of the Demeter, but also Talk to Me. I'm curious about that one.
Talk to Me.
And Blackening I've already seen, but it's good.
It sounds like a recommendation on your end. All right, I'm a sucker. Haunted Mansion. Because I love the ride. I literally could live on a dune buggy for my life. Last Voyage of the Demeter it looks fantastic. And I love the director too. He really has if you haven't seen The Anatomy of Jane Doe or The Autopsy of Jane Doe, or the Anatomy for that.
Well, I would say you see her anatomy too. Actually.
You do see her anatomy, but the Autopsy, it's really good. It's really good. It was one of my favorites for that year.
And so is Troll Hunter. Troll Hunter is amazing.
Troll Hunter is fantastic. Yeah. He's good directing. All right. Well, there you go. Let's run through them real quick. Starting off with Boogeyman, followed by The Blackening, Insidious, The Red Door, Cobweb, Haunted Mansion, Talk to Me, Meg 2, The Trench, Last Voyage of the Demeter, Poor Things, The Nun 2, Haunting in Venice, and Creator. There you have it.
An impressive list.
Yes. So let us know which one you're looking forward to the most in the comments down below. Please.
Do it.
All right. With that, we are done. Dave, Brian, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's say
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.